Hello, my name is Angela Phelps White, the Executive Director of the Ohio Civil Rights Commission. Since 2009, the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, along with its sponsors PNC, Honda of America, and Wright State University, have celebrated Ohio's most important civil rights activists and trailblazers by inducting them into the Civil Rights Hall of Fame. We have celebrated more than 100 inductees, including legends like Jesse Owens and Toni Morrison. However, due to the current health crisis with COVID-19, this year's Civil Rights Hall of Fame induction class was postponed. Still, the work of civil rights activists and trailblazers is more important now than ever before, and we must continue to recognize their efforts in advancing civil rights in Ohio. The Civil Rights Hall of Fame will receive Ohio civil rights advocates and pioneers again. But in the meantime, let's honor some of our past inductees by listening to their powerful words of hope and encouragement. So take care, please stay safe, and enjoy.
We the people means all of us. Equal justice under law applies to all of us, not just those who write the laws. Demanding equality for all is the most American action we can take, whether that's speaking up on behalf of others, working to change outdated societal norms, or fighting legalized discrimination.
And those civil rights workers who went to the South committed the ultimate act of inconvenience, left their homes and their families to go down, integrate those lunch counters, did that all these things that call a sacrifice for others, because without sacrifice there is no true solidarity.
We are far from finished with the agenda that we began, and it's still risky. In some ways more complicated, in some ways more difficult. In some ways the victories less sure and less visible. And so we call ourselves and all of you today to continue the risks that were taken and to continue working for justice and for the dignity of all people around the world.
I say to you today, it's important to come up with the thought that you can make a difference. Women can make a difference.
May we remember that the most powerful word in the history of governments is V-O-T-E, vote. The most powerful word in the universe is L-O-V-E, love.
All you have to do is have the love in your heart and that fire in the belly that will make you get up and do something. And so I ask you today to get up and do something, because we have an unfinished revolution.
We will never forget those past generations, those who struggled, those who laid the bricks that formed the walkway on which we now trod, who built the platforms on which we now stand. And so, to honor their sacrifice, we must recommit ourselves to this struggle, for it is ongoing.
Hello, I'm Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. I hope you are inspired by the words of the brave men and women featured in this presentation. These Ohio Civil Rights Hall of Famers will forever be remembered for breaking barriers, fighting for fairness, and advancing the goals of equality and inclusion. It's important to remember their contributions and to honor them for their sacrifices and commitment to advancing civil rights in our great state of Ohio. The work they have done for greater equality and against discrimination is hard work. And I'm certain that no one in the Hall of Fame made it there easily or without meeting significant challenges along the way. When I served in the United States Senate, I learned a great deal about those challenges and sacrifices from civil rights leader Congressman John Lewis. In 2004, He led a small group of lawmakers to Tennessee and Alabama and showed us history. Fran and I took our two youngest children, Mark and Anna, with us, and we will be forever grateful to John for what he taught us on that journey. He opened our eyes with firsthand accounts of the abuse and prejudice that he had experienced. He told us about his time as a freedom rider, when he and fellow activists were badly beaten while riding buses throughout the South to protest segregation. He took us across that bridge in Selma, Alabama, where on March 7th, 1965, known as Bloody Sunday, John and so many other civil rights protesters were attacked and beaten as they peacefully marched. John was an amazing leader, teacher, and role model for all of us. And when he died on July 17th, he left a legacy that we all have a responsibility now to carry on. And we will carry on. While COVID-19 disrupted plans to induct new members into the Hall of Fame this year, the important work of fighting discrimination continues. The Ohio Civil Rights Commission is on the job every day investigating allegations of discrimination in employment, places of public accommodation, housing, finance, and institutions of higher education. Our state has a long tradition of civil rights enforcement. The Ohio Public Accommodations Law of 1884 was enacted to prohibit discrimination on the basis of race in public facilities. More than 70 years later, Ohio became the 16th state to enact legislation prohibiting discrimination in employment on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, and ancestry. Within moments of taking my oath of office as governor, I signed an executive order implementing policies against discrimination in state government. And throughout the state, we are dedicated to improving social, health, and economic conditions for the prosperity of all Ohioans. In April, we formed the Minority Health Strike Force to focus on the disproportionate impact of the coronavirus on minority communities. After the group released its final report in August, I issued a plan outlining efforts to reinforce my administration's commitment to advancing health equity and establishing Ohio as a model for justice, equity, opportunity, and resilience. As part of this commitment, we created the Ohio Governor's Equity Advisory Board to continue efforts to dismantle racism and promote health equity. Our government exists to protect people so they can live flourishing lives and achieve their dreams with its fundamental purpose, as our own Ohio Constitution of 1803 states, and I quote, "to establish justice, promote the welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for all." Through the work of our Hall of Famers and many, many others, Ohio has made great strides to advance civil rights, but there's always more to be done. I encourage all Ohioans, particularly in this time of uncertainty, to commit to ending discrimination, striving for inclusion, and healing divisions in their lives and in their communities. Thank you very much.